Hey, Carolyn, can you hear me?
I can, Justin. How are you?
Cool, doing well. My back hurts from shoveling a lot, but first world problems. Let's talk about Nia Beverly. She's been flat out amazing. What's been the biggest difference from her time at Wisconsin to here? Because here she's got like a 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, and at Wisconsin she was good, but not like she is under you and your staff.
I think, well, now she's comfortable with the style of play. I think she's used to our offense and what we're expecting and looking for out of her. Obviously, she's done a phenomenal job taking care of the ball and finding our scores. And honestly, she's hit some huge shots, buzzer beater Bev, as her new nickname is, and getting to the free throw line. But I'm excited to see her continue to grow and continue to get confident in this system and this style of play.
How did you teach her like the play calls and stuff? Because you run a different system than what Jonathan does at Wisconsin. So how did you let her absorb all the info?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of time, as we continue to rep it every day. For me, obviously playing the point guard spot and knowing how vital it is to talk and command, that's one thing that we're still working on, for her to be able to really direct and command vocally. She's doing a great job getting people in the right spots and understanding the flow and the tempo that we want to play at. And I think she's just going to keep getting better the more reps and the more practice and game speed repetitions that she gets.
What kind of factor can Nan Garcia be the rest of the way? I thought she provided a nice spark in that second quarter when you were down 10.
Yeah, I mean, Nan has a very high basketball IQ. She plays with a lot of poise. She's done a great job getting her body in shape after her ACL injury. She's been working really hard with her strength and conditioning coach to be able to ready to play significant minutes. And I think she's there now. Unfortunately, she tore her ACL her senior year, so she's been grinding and working her way back. But she's a great interior passer. That high-low game, can shoot three, she can stretch the floor, and obviously her physicality helps us out down low.
From a macro level, you've almost been here 2 years. Look, nobody saw a global pandemic coming, and you've been decimated with some key injuries. But just where do you see the rebuild right now?
I think as you rebuild a program, especially the way that the Big Ten is right now, where we have, six top 25 teams or whatever it might be on every given night, we got to continue to build and grow every day. So for us as a program, we look at, last year we were, bottom of the league. And this year we try to beat the teams that were above us and get to around the middle of the pack. And then the next year you try to claw and start knocking off some of the top teams in the league. And that's usually how a rebuild goes, the process. And I think we're well on our way to doing that. And, we got to win the games that we should, and compete against those teams that are on the same level as us. And then hopefully knock off a couple big dogs this year. And then eventually next year, be confident and ready to do it routinely.
Yeah, it's really been remarkable what you've done with Leilani and Kelly out in a global pandemic. And then also, you're a leader to not only the 15 young women, but this community at large. So I want to flip it to your perspective. What does it mean to be a female leader on National Girls and Women's Sports Day?
I just feel so blessed to be able to pay it forward. Sports has done so much for my life and to where I am today. I'm thankful to be able to use basketball as a platform to help our young women grow into the best versions of themselves. I obviously wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my sports upbringing and for getting introduced to every sport possible growing up with my brothers and my dad and my sisters. So I'm thankful for the lifelong lessons that sports has taught me. And I just feel blessed to be in a position where I get to help use basketball to help that for others. And, it teaches our young women to be strong, confident, competitive, and really work on those team building skills that they're going to need in every area of their life. So I can't really put into words what sports has meant to me, but I am very thankful that I get to do this every day and make our young ladies the best versions of themselves.
And last one for me, how do you see this like Cash versus Kane matchup playing out? I mean, she's had to deal with some tall trees these last, 2.5 weeks, Carolyn. She's dominated. I mean, she's playing the best big in the country right now. As her Cash is one of the best bigs in the country. How do you see her going up against Kane?
Well, Kane obviously is an elite level shot blocker, leads the Big Ten in shot blocking. So Cash is going to have to do a great job of taking her outside and taking her away from the rim, whether it's ball screens or high post or short corner attacks, and really use her shot fake and her counters that she's been doing such a great job of. And wear her out in the full court and rim run on her and be physical with her and hit first on rebounds. should be a good battle. I'm excited
Yeah,
for it.
cool. All right, thanks. That was it from me.
Thanks, Justin. Go ahead, Alexis.
Hi, Carolyn. Speaking of Cash, what has she done differently these past couple games that have led her to turning in 3 straight double doubles and just really being dominant down low?
Well, this past game against Purdue, she stayed out of foul trouble, and she was able to play more minutes, and I think was able to be more aggressive, which was obviously helpful on the offensive end. She's doing such a great job hitting and holding on her rebounds right now and pursuing the ball in her area and out of her area. She's altering shots, but I think the biggest thing that she's kind of adjusted in the last couple games has been her patience and her footwork, and not rushing on her finishes, and it's really paid off for her. And she's doing a great job off the pick and roll game. And I give a lot of credit to her teammates, because I think her teammates have really evolved with her and kind of figuring out when to give her the ball, when to hit her at the right angle and the right time. And I think everyone has kind of figured out how to play with each other a little bit more than we were at the beginning of the year.
I just want to ask, what have your conversations been like with McKenna recently, since she's been taking up more of a scoring role lately, especially since, Kelly, you don't have her production anymore. So what have your conversations been like with her?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as Kelly's injury occurred, I went right to McKenna and said, you're going to have to play off the ball a little bit more. You're going to have to be a scorer for us. You're going to have to hunt your shot every possession. And I think she's done a phenomenal job of that. We watch film probably every other day and do a lot of individual workouts. McKenna's a gym rat. She works hard every single rep. And I think you're just going to see her game continue to get better and thrive as this off guard, but it also able to have the ball in her hands off of ball screens. She's so dominant coming downhill. And I think she's gotten a lot better at reads and the reaction she needs to make based on the defense coming off of ball screens.
Go ahead, Pat.
Hey, Coach. I know the previous two mentioned it before, but following Kelly's injury, a lot of people raised the question about who is going to step up. And I know Justin mentioned Nia Beverly has been excellent lately. Anna Camden has had back-to-back double-doubles, and Maddie Burke has hit some big shots in recent games. Can you just speak to how all three of them have sort of stepped up and how important it is for your team going forward?
Yeah, honestly, when you say who stepped up, I think it's by committee. I think every game somebody else has done something that they needed to do. We've been doing a lot of goals lately before games and challenging the players to give what they need to in order for Penn State to win. And I think our players are really latching onto that. And mostly like whether it's rebounding or assist or steals. You look at Shea Higgins, the way that she's picked up her defensive intensity lately is setting the tone for us on the defensive end. You look at Anna with, better games from the scoring down low and even stretching out and hitting more threes. And obviously we talked about Nia already, but I think everyone knows right now that they have to do a little bit extra, a little bit more than they did before. And honestly, it's more of the little things. It's not just the scoring that Kelly did. Kelly, was so good and active with her rim runs, with her first 3 steps, with her rebounding. And right now we've just been talking about filling that void by committee, not one player.
Yeah, that sort of leads into my next question. I was going to say another aspect of losing Kelly is that on-court leadership. Obviously, she's still going to be around the program, but how has your team sort of been able to overcome that absence of on-court leadership from a senior?
Quite honestly, I still think we're getting used to it. I was really proud of the last 2 games that we held our composure in that fourth quarter. Against Minnesota, we blew a lead and kind of lost our composure there in the fourth quarter. And our team did a great job of responding against Illinois and Purdue and weathering the storm. And I think that was done honestly by committee as well. So, I'm really challenging our guards to be more vocal. That's something that Kelly did every day. So, whether it's Nia, whether it's McKenna, whether it's Shea, just really encouraging them and building them up to use their voice and to command and direct and get people in the right spots.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Go ahead, Alexis.
Carolyn, where do you think your team is defensively, whether they're pressing full court or at half court? Are you satisfied with their effort in both of those areas?
Obviously, no, never satisfied, especially with the points per game that we're giving up and the field goal percentage. But I think right now, as we've kind of morphed in trying to get these lineups in, we've kind of been trying a lot of different stuff right now. We've had to go back to the drawing board after Kelly went out, and when Cash gets in foul trouble, whatever it might be. I thought we've been doing a phenomenal job of causing turnovers the last 3 games, I should say even 4 games, active hands, getting in the passing lanes, anticipating better, which has ignited just our defensive intensity. But we've kind of had to adjust what our original game plan was coming into the season, as we've had some injuries and some other stuff, COVID related and everything like that, as you play more games in a week than you normally would. So it's, trying to load manage and whatever it might be. So honestly, it's day by day right now, and just trying to keep them engaged mentally and physically on the defensive end.
All right. Anything else for Coach? Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.